Super Soul Sunday. I am so excited coming your way this Sunday evening, or what time of the day you are, what time zone. Happy Sunday to you. I am joined by my wonderful brother and friend all the way in Colorado, the best award-winning selling. Look, I'm so excited. I think is the drink that I'm having. I'm having a drink here, but it's no wine, by the way. Evans Kwesi Mensah, who is a author, a best-selling author of the book Beyond the Credentials, and also a business coach. Welcome, Kwesi.
Thank you very much, Nana. Thanks for having me within a short amount of time. And I'm grateful for this.
You're grateful. I'm also grateful. And, if I will send you this drink all the way here, it's courtesy of Comet's Cocktail, one of the immune booster drinks. And also they have ginger peony. So if you are having your programs, you want to get, Comet to for your drinks. But hey, we're going to talk about Kwesi's book right now. So Kwesi, how is life treating you over in Colorado?
Well, as you rightly know, everybody's quarantined, so we're doing the best we can to stay safe. The family is great, and Colorado is awesome. And I think I want to use the opportunity also, use your platform to wish everybody well, and also to remind the world that the virus pandemic that we are in is real. So we need to take care of ourselves and be healthy and live long. So I'm fine, I'm blessed, and I'm super excited.
We're thankful to God that we are all alive. But in London, we're out. We got people are going out and going about their business. What about your end? Are you guys out as well?
Yeah. So as you know, the United States is a big country, so it's state-wise. So every state has their own jurisdiction, and the governors decide what to do. But as far as Colorado is concerned, we have certain places open and shut again, like restaurants open and had to reshut because people are abusing the opportunity and not creating that social distances. Some people are responsible, but not everybody. So some businesses have opened, but it's been done on a very careful note. We have an amazing governor who is making sure that everything is in place. But I think the onus is on individuals to be responsible for their health, not government. So I think things are getting better. Thanks for asking. And I'm glad
UK. I like that. The responsibility, it's everybody has to be wise. This is as much as you want to follow guidelines and all that, you also have to be wise and be responsible. So if you're listening to Kwesi and I, please be responsible and take care of yourself and stay safe. Very, very important. But we are continuing our conversation. If you remember, I think a month ago or so, we started a conversation on his latest book, Beyond the Credentials, and I loved it. And I thought, we need to continue because I think it's a book that's schools, churches, leadership, coaching, those in the coaching business can use because it has a worksheet with it that you can use. So Kwesi, have you got like a copy of the book that you can show us?
It's right here.
Yes, Beyond the Credentials by best-selling author Evans Kwesi Mensah. And why did you choose The Lion and the Cat? I meant to ask you the other day.
So very interesting. Before the book came out, what I did was I checked out with my audience. I have dozens of audience too, and I wanted them to be co-authors of the book. So I had 4 designs by my designers, and so this is one of them. And I had different options that came, but like I was telling a friend today, as a leader, people they give you ideas. The onus is on you to make the final decision because everybody's going to give you their opinion. People chose this, some people didn't choose it, they gave the ideas. Finally, I chose this because I think the image makes you pause. There's something about it. It makes you pause. So what it tells you is that even though today you may think you are shining like a cat, You are actually a lion. You are bigger than who you think you are. There's a lot of
Oh,
potential in us that we can be beyond what we think we are. So the goal is look beyond. What is in you is bigger than what you think you are. There are more things that we can do. So I just wanted the picture to, it's a pictorial caption that will cause you to turn and look at what is this first before you take a look at it. So it's a message in itself. So that's
okay.
yeah,
Okay. Now I understand. So everything that we do, there has to be a meaning to it. So it's
right.
like awaken the giant in you. Most of
Right.
us, we see ourselves very like ants, but we are giants. So Kwesi
Absolutely.
is telling us that awaken the giant in you. You can do so much. So thank you for that.
Thank
So
you.
we're continuing, and whilst I read a book, I came across some of the pages that I it just caught my eye, and so I want us to talk about it. I wrote some stuff down. So we there was your passion and your purpose,
Mhm.
which is don't sleep away from your vision. In one of I was reading. So why do you say we shouldn't sleep away from our vision?
Well, as a matter of fact, a lot of people have ideas that they have only in their mind, right? And then for those who have the urge, what they do is they go further to write them down or discuss it with somebody. Mostly it ends there. The only reason I came out with this book, even within pandemic, and within 2 weeks, it became Amazon bestseller within less than 2 weeks, is because I had a vision, but I did not even let pandemic stop me because even the content of the book is fitting for the moment that we are living in. So I feel people have vision to become great. People have vision to do so many things in life, but what they don't do is they don't pursue those visions to be successful in the things. Or when I say success, I don't want people to only see it as in money wise. It is important to be financially successful, but my point is to be fulfilled in their life, to say, I have arrived, I've done this, and I'm very excited about it. So a lot of people are sleeping with their visions because you know what happens? The deception, Nana, is that because they have maybe a couple of pounds and dollars and in their bank accounts and they are comfortable and they are short of their work and they have maybe 2 or 3 cars in their garages, so they feel they've arrived. No, there is more to life than that. What else are you doing for somebody else? So there are visions, professional visions, there are passion visions. We need to separate the two that you can achieve beyond. And so that's the reason I said that within this short amount of time. I hope that clarifies some of the things.
Yeah, but sometimes too, we are surrounded by people who do not help us to harness our vision. There are those who are go-getters. I just finished an Insta live with two amazing ladies, and both of them are go-getters, and both of them have reached out for their dreams without consulting people.
Okay.
Right. And like me, I am a go-getter, and when I'm doing something, so far as I pray to God and I get the blessing of my husband,
Mhm.
I go and get it. I rarely share it with people because I will always share with those who I think have done what I want to do and have excelled. But most of the time, many of us go and share our visions with people who have not even ventured in the adventure that we want to take. And so they are kind of downplayed, they are discouraged, they're like, who is gonna read your book, who is gonna buy this, who is gonna, and then we don't do it. So how about those people? What would you tell them?
So very interesting you said that. So if you go into this book, chapter 8, if you look at, you realize that I talked about specifically surround and be surrounded by people.
Mm.
Specifically, what I said was surround and be surrounded by good friends and loved ones. There is a reason I put that there. Now, if you surround yourself with 4 or 9 negative people, who are you? You're number 10 without knowing. And so I even wrote that in the book. So it's you are right on point. You are an author yourself, and you are for you to say what you're saying about me and my book means a lot to me because I have high respect for you as an individual as and also as an author. So surrounding yourself with the right people, iron sharpens iron. You cannot deny that. Okay. And so when Thomas Edison made light, they asked him probably hypothetically, let's just assume he made mistake about 499 times. And the journalist asked him at the time, how did you make light? And by the way, it's not the light that we are switching on today, then light, something just flipped right. He turned and looked at them and he said, I've learned 499 times how not to make light. He's learned his lessons. Now, within a short amount of time, he can make light. So surrounding yourself with people who know better or who have even made mistakes and have learned from it, I think that would make us better people so that we can be better. So the friends we have, the family we have, even our parents, and I have little children. I don't dictate to them. I guide them. I give them the ideas, the vision to be successful. And each one of them, incidentally, I have their own potential differently. They are not the same. They might never do the exact things I'm doing, but I want to make sure that I identify their goals and move with it. So friends and people we surround ourselves with a lot of time plays a huge role, Nana.
Yes, we have to. Then we have character. When I said, okay, this one is big one, I was laughing. I was laughing. And you made a quote. You said, prayer sometimes, we don't need prayer sometimes. We need character. We need character, not prayers. And you had some backslash because, I remember reading a book saying prayer is not the answer. And even when I saw the cover of it, was like, how can you say prayer is not the answer? So when I came back and saw that you've also written, I said, okay, I've got it. I have got it. So sometimes it's not about prayer, but it's about character. Talk to us about that.
So, Nana, interestingly, my first book, which is Synergy and Commonality, the Key to Success, the first chapter on the book talked about character. And this one is about the last but one or two that talked about the book. Now,
yes.
when I released that book, also that came as a bestseller, what happened was people misunderstood, especially, I don't want to mention any.
Oh, yes. Especially we that go to church. Yes. Don't say you don't want to, but just go straight to the point.
Well, that's coming from you. So
That's what you want to tell me. I'm not going to scream or shout. I know it's you're right. I know you're right.
Particular cultures, Nana, assume that I'm saying do not go and pray. All I'm saying is, for instance, if you have a bad resume, bad grammar, and you put your resume or CV down to go to give to a company, you've been praying for that job opportunity. Yes, pray, hope, do all the work, but there's an element of work that you need to do. And that element of work is go correct your grammar. Go through. God is not going to descend to correct your grammar for you. He'll give you wisdom to do it. But so that is what I meant. But people don't understand the depth in which I am talking about. I'm a son of two reverend ministers who in blessed memory. It doesn't make me a saint. However, I understand the value of prayer. But my point is that some people also spend 7 days a week praying all night, and probably, unfortunately, they are the poorest. They don't have anything. And they all think that all things are in heaven waiting for them. I pray they get to heaven and they don't come and serve me too on top of it over there, just because God is going to look at you and said, son, daughter, I gave you this. If you read Genesis, you read Genesis chapter 128, it tells you you've been given power to do what? Possess things, lead things. Have you enjoyed that on earth? So I think people misunderstand the concept of prayer, and they think that everything has to be, even when a car is about to knock you in the middle of the road, you are waiting and praying, Jesus, help me for the car not to knock me. When you got to use your common sense to run away. Say Jesus whilst you are running, but you stay in the middle of the road. Metaphorically, I'm saying this, but that's how people live their life. So prayer is important, but behind prayer, you need to put in an action. That's what I meant. Yeah, I had backlash
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
first.
I think it's very important that it's being taught, if since this COVID
Right.
um pandemic started, it's really taught a lot of people, so many things in terms of we being, especially we that are Christians. And I think that sometimes we have to sit back and reflect on how we do things, on how we relate to people, on how we talk to people, on how we um, the relationship, let me put it that way, because I was having a conversation and I told some people, I said, prayer is not just the 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever hours that we spend. Prayer is your lifestyle. The way you communicate is a form of prayer. The way you're living your life is a form of prayer. Because if we are saying we are serving a living God, then everything about us, it's, it's got to be a light that would reflect and be a light for others to see and for others to transform. We are all a working progress, or yes, you are the university ones. We've got to teach that. And it's becoming, I don't want to, it's frustrating that you see some men of God, some women of God, making it that without prayer you are not, you don't believe in God
Mm.
as the base. And it's, I'm getting to that point that I think it needs to be said
Mm.
that we need to guide people and let people grow in this walk that we are walking. That if we have to find work, let's go find work. If we have to talk to somebody, let's talk to somebody. Because you cannot say you are serving 365 days praying to a God that is a God that breathes life, and you will be still for 365. It does not work that way. And somebody's got to say it. So
Amen.
now that you are telling me, you've got to say it.
Amen to that. And I'll pick something on this to say. So exactly what you said. So when I title this Beyond the Credentials, it's linked to what you just said. People assume I'm saying credentials are not important, and I explained that carefully to let people understand. I said beyond. I'm not saying without. Okay, if
Mm,
even without, there are
mm,
people that we end up working for that did not even attend any college, and we go to all the Ivy League schools, the best schools, pay all the student loans, come back and beg and get a couple of dollars or pounds from them to work for them. What
mm.
ethics or work ethics do they have to make them successful? Those are things that we need to be learning. And so my goal in life is prayer is important. So I'm like you rightly said, you have to be a living example of what you do. And so it doesn't matter what you believe in, whatever you believe in, there are some basic things you need to do. Put your acts together and focus on what you want to do, and you'll be successful in it.
Yeah, we it said that, like, getting favors. Some favors we pray,
Yeah.
and then God would touch somebody's heart to for us to have that favor. But if you don't pick up your phone
Mhm.
and say hello, which in your book you've said, the simple hello, a simple hello got you favor.
Yeah.
A simple hello, and I have that saying that, a hello will open your hello.
Yeah.
The all these COVID thing you called, I will share with you. 2 weeks ago we called a friend of ours, and I said, oh, I'm just calling to check in on you. And then we were laughing and say, how are you, how's the missus? And then they said, oh, I sent you some chicken the other day, is it finished? I said, oh, I when you gave it to me, I shared it with my neighbors, and I said, I'm going to the chicken shop and I'll bring you a box of chicken.
Mhm.
It was just a simple phone call. You understand? A simple phone call that a thought came in my heart, and I pick up the phone and call the person.
Yeah.
You understand? So checking on people, saying hello, sending a text, and I am on a on a mission of telling people off. This today's interview is like we on fire. Last week, today is Sunday, so the week last week, I was checking on people, and these are some of the things that in my community, especially, are very fond of. That they don't call people. Some, I'm not saying everybody.
Mhm.
We don't check on people. We don't text people. We don't do, but then when we are in need of something, when there is a funeral, when there is a party, when you want somebody to do, then you're able to find the person's number, which I think it's not right. I always say that the spirit that lives in us, the God spirit that lives in us, It's that sweet spirit that would remind you of people, because the God that we serve is a caring God. So you cannot tell me the whole year you do not remember somebody, but then when there is a funeral, you're able to remember the person. What kind of relationship is this? We supposed to harness relationship. And then I text about three people and said, oh, you did not try at all. You haven't called me all these years. Da 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 da. And but then I check your status and I see that you were doing all this. And I said, hold on a minute. You check my status every day. So why haven't you simply text that, hello, my sister, how are you? But then when I think of you and I call you, you are meeting my greeting with aggressiveness. So I was last week, I was really giving it to people that, you know, another lady that I haven't heard from like 5 years. I drove past her house and I said, I wonder if she still lives here. Let me check. I checked her first number, it was off. Her second number, it went through. Oh, now that you're making all the money, you've forgotten about me. You understand? And I said, I called to check on you. Why would you make such a comment? You understand? So these are some of the things that today I'm using my our interview to educate us, or to remind us that if you are not checking on somebody and somebody thinks of you and call you, don't meet the person with that negative response, but be grateful that at least that person is thought of you and called you. And to leaders out there, and I say, you get all the forwards, especially the pastors forwarding and forwarding and forwarding messages to people. Make time and check on people, not just forward. It has to show that you care, not just we listening to your messages, but if we are praying and you are sending messages, at least attach, hey, how are you doing? How is your family doing? Because you might send a message, but that hello, that good morning, that how are you would just make the person stop and listen. But when I see that forward, I just delete it, honestly. So we're using this evening to educate leaders out there that it's not just about leadership. If we are emulating Christ, then we should read about Christ well and do the things that he came to do. Amen.
Amen. I think Nana, I would, if I had anything, I'll spoil the whole show for you because you eloquently, very interestingly, because you and I, even though behind the scenes, we check on each other. We always text once a while. I knew how busy you were this week, even before the show. Yesterday, we communicated not because of the show. And so that is a very live testimony. We've become friends. And just yesterday, was it yesterday? I took the phone, like you rightly said, not to say we are or I am perfect. We all need to help each other to be better. I took the phone and I realized that there's been a particular person is consistently just been business conversation. So I just text him and I said, and this is a business partner of a very, very high profile individual. We connect, he calls me a brother. All I said was, my brother, how are you? How's the family? Are you doing okay? I'm tired of just checking on you or you checking on me only when like business. Almost every week there's something we do. This text is only to check on you, to nothing business, just to say, just yesterday I did that. So I think what
Well
you
done.
saying that just to affirm what you said, that we need to be in touch with one another, especially in this pandemic time when they are calling it social distancing. I don't. I think the misunderstanding of social distancing is physical distancing. I have been educated. I wrote an article on this. It is physical distancing we need, not social distancing. Social distancing. You call somebody on the phone. You just be physical distant. Give your parameters and all that. But social, we are social beings, so we need each other. We need to check on each other. And people are getting homesick, getting frustrated. So we need to be there for each other in times like this and even beyond. So I'm grateful you raised that up, and I can see the passion in which
Oh
you
yes.
is. And
I'm on
I know I'm not
I'm
going to
on
be a victim of
I'm
this.
on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire because
Yeah,
I think we need to it's something that needs to be emphasized
right.
because um if that is what we're going to be doing, then we've got to do it and do it well because you need to harness relationship. There are those relationship that those people that you know they are in your life but it's kind of dominant,
Mm,
and
mm,
then there are those that the Lord also put them there to teach you and also to bring whatever you're doing to come to pass. And when we have this mentorship thing, especially on marriages, I say that y- the people that the man that you marry or the woman that you marry, you come together as one. The Bible says you become one,
mm,
and then you harness the greatness in each other.
mhm.
Right. So if I and my commander, if he's not harnessing the greatness in me, I wouldn't become the woman that I am today. And if I don't harness the greatness in him, he wouldn't be that top manager that he is today.
Agree.
And then together we are able to also be a blessing to others.
Mm,
And so if the Lord puts people around you, there are some people that he puts there to harness whatever he's brought or whatever vision he's got for you. You
agree.
understand? And then that makes who you are and I am be a light to the world that we have to be a light to. But if you want your vision to be out there and not harness the greatness in the others around you, then there is a question mark.
I agree. I agree.
Then there is a question mark. So I think we need to talk on that. But let's move on. I am so excited talking to Evans Kwesi Mensah, who is a best-selling author and a business coach, and his latest book, Beyond the Credentials. And he's telling us that beyond all the accolades that we have, and he has so many accolades. Please go and watch our first interview. It is super. A father, he has three sons, amazing wife. The accolades is uncountable, but so humble. And he's saying that beyond all that, you've got to be who you are called to be. So, Kwesi, let's move on. Customer service. I read on chapter 28,
Good.
customer service, which is big. I think we can spend the whole time on customer service. So, why did you put customer service in your book?
So thank you once again for this opportunity. And I think in all we do, you don't need to go for a special customer service school to have certain basic etiquettes on how to relate to people. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to separate that understanding of customer service to mean, oh, that person. I can tell you for a fact that we are all, before coming on the show, what a coincidence, by the way, where our first show, we happened to wear
I
like
know.
the
I
same
know.
dress, and the second
I
show,
did this show too.
show. So
Oh,
you
unbelievable.
never know. So it's
Great
about
minds think alike.
absolutely iron sharpens iron. And so I think that customer service it's critical to everything you do. You can have a very bad product, but your marketing and customer service can survive that product. It's just as simple as that. In difficult times, your customers and friends and family stick with you because they believe in you, because you are sincere with them. So, like you rightly said, it's a whole topic on its own, but the chapter just teases some of the elements that we need to have as to be successful in everything that we do. Even your persona is a customer service on its own. How you present yourself to people, to business partners, at your workplace, in your family, in your house, it's a customer service in itself. How do you preserve or present that to people? And to yourselves, even within yourself, you are three in one. You have your own body, soul, and spirit. How are you presenting yourself to each? So it's important that we identify who we are and then delve into it and do what is necessary to make us blossom. Because, like I said, bad product, good marketing can sustain it, but the reverse doesn't work that way. That's the reason I put that in.
Oh, customer service. So if you and when we talk about customer service, you think of um companies, or you think of like hotels,
Mhm.
offices, those who sell stuff. But then I realize, as I'm growing, I realize that it's not even as a church,
Yeah.
customer service is important. And you deal with a lot of church leaders and help them with you coach them, and how they harness their members. So I want you to, because I am a I'm in leadership in ministry in the church setting. I want you to, and there's so many now that it's COVID, most people are online. Could you give us some tips as churches,
Mm.
how we need to operate in regards to customer service?
Yeah, so very good point. And I keep telling people that Nana, my resume is complete because I've worked in corporate America, I've worked in the United Kingdom, I've worked in my native country in Ghana, in all these countries in different sectors, corporate, corporate, corporate. But guess what? I've also helped religious NGOs and specifically churches. And the reason I say my resume is complete is I've seen it almost all in life, because working in that industry really teaches you the true humanity of people. Okay. Now, I was advising a major church institution leader recently, and it just dawned on me. It's a very personal friend, and we went on Zoom and had a conversation. And I said, if you had already prepared a message for the year, like most big churches do, or religious institutions do, from December to December, change it. You cannot be preaching Moses crossing the river today when there's pandemic. You have to be with the moment. Your message, people are dying. So your message, just because you printed it, and so because of cost, you cannot change your message. And maybe in this period that we are in, your message is on something else. And it doesn't fit the times. You have to change you have to be dynamic, you have to be in the moment, and your messaging must fit. It means you are focused but flexible, and you are in the people are mourning and crying, and you are talking about rejoicing. So your message has to be based on the timings. It's important. That's one. The other aspect too is that a lot of churches and leaders, they preach on you don't go out to do evangelism and meet somebody who is literally, this is not metaphorically, literally hungry on the street, and you have money in your pocket, then you are telling the person, God loves you. Really? Do you know the best way the person can listen to your God loves you? Take 5 pounds of your money and buy food for that person to eat. In the process of eating, you can preach to the person. The person will listen to you better. So sometimes we need to be very adaptive to the times that we are in. And one other thing I told the person, and I'm saying this because of the times we are in, I said, now, because of the distancing that we have in churches, preaching should just be as exhortation, 20 minutes. Some people, when they get opportunity, they will go on forever. They want to spend over an hour, 2 hours just talking, and people are sleeping, information overload. Churches now that used to have 3 services might have 6. So it means that because the capacity that used to take maybe like 1,000 people is now going to be 200 because of distancing. So arrange your sit-ups and environment so that it can take shorter people, short services, 20 minutes exhortation. Announcement should be online. Don't spend announcement time to be more than the preaching time. Praise and worship. What we actually went there to do for God, we don't have time for it. To praise Him, to worship Him, to adore Him. But we have time for other things. So we need to be careful. Another thing, I'll say this, then I know that I'll cut it short, is that you cannot be hypocritical to put a husband and wife 6 distance. It doesn't make sense. They just came from the same house. So arrange an environment where families will sit together. Then the next family sit together. So don't go put Nana and Alfred to 6 feet in a church. Meanwhile, they just sat in the same car, the same room, and they came. So put them together, families that are together, because if they have any, with all due respect, if there's any problem with them, they came with a problem. So let them be together. So and even communion, how do we do communion? And all those things I was advising. So I think we need to just be in the moment. And my goal is to take a particular case and help. And that is how I do my consulting in the corporate world. I don't, I just got a big opportunity to do something for a major bank. But guess what? I'm going to customize what they are in need of. I'm not going to cookie cut what I had before just because I've had it and then give it to them, unless it's something I don't need to reinvent. So we need to be in the moment in all the things we do, and churches are no different.
Thank you, Kwesi. So we are talking on the book Beyond the Credentials, and you can see me sipping my wonderful Cosmic Immune Booster, and you can get it on. You can check them on Cosmic on Facebook. For all your event drinks, and this is lovely. So please order some, and all the details are on their Facebook page, Cosmic Cocktails. You enjoy. So Kwesi, I don't know how they're going to ship some to you. Maybe when you come to London, but
Yeah, I was,
it's very good at it's got ginger and all that, and then they have the ginger penny as well. It's great. So you want to get one.
I can't wait. Maybe next time in
Yeah,
London,
yeah, yeah.
I can't
I
wait to
don't
have.
think we can. People go back home and freeze ice cream and wrap it and put it in their
Right.
luggage and bring it. So
Yeah, you
maybe
gotta do that.
I will bring some and post it to you.
You gotta do that.
Yeah. So please get the book. It's on Amazon.com. Beyond the Credentials by Evans Kwesi Mensah. And I tell you, it's got a worksheet with it. So it's something that you can use it in schools with leadership seminars, conferences, and I love it. I just love it. Kwesi, I was reading about also collaborating and reliability. And you had the story of the blind friends. Share with us that one.
Okay, so very interesting you brought that topic up, because the whole idea is not just a story. It's about a story that people can relate to and then connect with, and then turn it into positive way of looking at things. Now, so the whole story goes like, in the book I narrated it. It's about six blind men who have never seen an elephant before, and everybody wished to have seen an elephant. And so they all had a dream, and then they held different parts of the elephant. And so when they woke up, everybody came. The first person came and said, "I had a dream." Everybody says, "It's telepathy. We all had a dream, the same dream." And the first person said, held an elephant," because they were blind in the dream. They were blind. So he said, "An elephant is like a tree." And the second person said, the other five said, "No, you're truly blind. In reality, you're blind." Why did you say that? Because the person said an elephant is like a tree. You know why? Because that blind person held the leg of the elephant. So obviously, elephant looked like a tree. And the second person says, "No, I saw an elephant. I felt an elephant, and it's like a wall." Because the second person held the side of the elephant. That's a wall. And that part is true, partially true. And the third person, they went on and on. The third person held the ear, and he said an elephant, or she said an elephant is like a fan. One held a trunk, it's like a rope. One the head is like it's a big stone, on and on to fast track. Then this sane person who took care of them heard them and said, "What's your fight?" They were almost fighting because everybody believed they were true. And truly they were true. But the difference is that this same person told them, if you had put all together that you had seen together, the leg, the side, the trunk, the ear, the head, and all the tail, everything together, that is a full elephant. The reason I put that story in there metaphorically is that is how we live our lives right now. I am a guy who believes in collaboration. as an individual, I'm doing decently well. If I don't say that, I don't glorify the man above that takes care of me and my family. I'm doing decently well. But I go into collaborations because I know that in that 1 + 1 to me would be 2. But if I collaborate with you and me, Nana, and we are faithful to each other and do it well, 1 + 1 will be 20 because of the multiplier effect that we're going to put together to make things well. So I love collaboration. And even then, I don't need to be the only person crying when things don't go well, right? I can share with somebody and say, oh man, we messed up. When things get better, we can share and we build family, we build unity, we save society. And life is not all about money. It's also about helping one another to, like you rightly said in your introduction, hold one another to be successful so that we can all be happy. Because if you are so successful and your neighbors and your friends, your families are not successful, they're going to be betting on you. You're going to be a bad person. So I use that story to let people know that yes, each one was telling the truth, but the only reason is that they were telling a part of the truth, but to them that was the full truth. So we need to come together to get a whole elephant together to make it big and humongous, and not feel too happy and very excited in our small world and think we've arrived. We need to collaborate. That's the reason for us.
It's fantastic. Thank you so much. It's good to collaborate, but then at the same time, you've got to discern to know who you're going to collaborate with, because obviously, which is the truth, many people have gone into collaboration and is either have their ideas or people taking over whatever idea they put down or their invention, or so yes, is I am for collaboration, but it's very important who you are collaborating with, because they would you say there are people who are born natural leaders and there's some that have to study, because
Yeah.
if you're going to collaborate with, like they said, they're this type of people that they're very strong-headed, and if you have two strong-headed people coming together, one have to kind of
Mhm.
subdue or submit.
Right.
And if you don't have a submissive spirit, then there is that's um always loggerheads. So
Right.
it's very important that yes, you partner with people, and we can see that major companies that have merged have come out to be great. But then sometimes these individuals, when we are coming together, at one point, the first year is all right, second year is all right, and then as the business grows, then we don't know what happens. So yes, go discern and find out who you want to collaborate with and do it well.
Excellent.
Kwesi, fulfillment. I also read about fulfillment. I was like, yay, I just love this book. I love it. Can you see how I'm campaigning for the book?
I know. I'm impressed being an author too.
Beyond the Credentials is an amazing book. It's simple to read as well. I don't like big books, but and now I've become an avid reader. Is unbelievable, and all of us are advised that for us to train our brain, exercise the brain, is for us to read. So, please buy books and read. And one of the books I recommend for this season is Beyond the Credentials. So, Crazy, let's talk about fulfillment.
Well, so before I even go to fulfillment, I want your listeners, beautiful listeners, very smart listeners, to know that the lady interviewing me is Nana Churcher herself. The Power of Your Words is her book. And I would also encourage you to go online, Amazon, or coming on the screen at lulu.com to get a copy. That is The Power of Your Words. Yeah, thank you for
Oh, thank you for advertising for me. I
collaborating.
appreciate
So,
it. But it's your book we're talking about. Thank you.
live.
All right.
So beyond the credentials, the reason and if you realize the fulfillment part is almost literally the ending part of the book.
Yeah.
All the chapters that I'm reading, I said, regardless of everything you've done in life, you need to have fulfillment. You and I understand. I came from a broken home, and sometimes I know the pain that people go through, and the toils that, like, my parents went through to take care of 5 strong children, of which four are guys, boys. And so my sister that I follow directly, I don't even know whether she is a tomboy. She's stronger than other boys anyway. And so I know what they've been through. The question is, are we really in our jobs that are fulfilled, or we are in our jobs that just to pay the bills? Are we, what do you define as fulfillment? What I define as fulfillment might be totally different from your fulfillment. Maybe somebody's fulfillment might be having millions of dollars in their bank account to look at it every time, to be able not to have control over time and money. Or it could be how they help others, or get grants to support others, create libraries, or to pay others school fees. Or maybe your fulfillment is something. It could be negative or it could be positive, but whatever you define as fulfillment is up to the individual to define. So I want people to identify that fulfillment. If it is professional, now you can have your professional job, for instance, but your passion could be something in social impact. Nana, you do this beautifully, right? You're a good media host. You do your job, and I can see the passion in which you do it. I don't believe, I'll be surprised to hear that when you were born at age 5, you knew you're going to do this. At that time, probably you have to be a doctor, you have to be this. You might have gotten all the credentials to do what you want to do, but on the side or on the main thing you do, you're doing something that you love every day, you're looking up to. If you wake up in the morning and whatever you do, you grind and or you complain and you are not too happy, your heart beats negatively, you're like, again, it means you're not in the right job. Or maybe you might have to do that for a short term, but at the end of the day, the book Beyond the Credentials is guiding you through. It's like a coach, it's like a guide guiding you onto how, not just to identify that you are not fulfilled, but it gives you guidance onto what to do to be fulfilled eventually. We all have done things in the short term just to jump over things that we need to get to. But at the end of the day, you need to have an aim. You have to have a goal to say, at this age, I have certain ages, certain milestones. When I get there, I need to achieve what I need to achieve. I've not achieved them the way it is, but trust me, having me on this conversation, it means I've done something to deserve your attention within a month, twice, to be interviewed. And I'm grateful for that. That to me is fulfillment. So,
Wow.
that's how I see it.
Fantastic. Well, for me, I knew, well, I wouldn't say at age 5, but then when I was in class 6, I knew I wanted to be a show host. So that has been my childhood dream. So my commander would say I downloaded from within. I have always wanted to be a show host. So, and I love doing it. I mean, well, it's goes into 7 years, and behind the scenes, we've really worked hard to be where we are.
Yeah.
And I am fulfilled. I can say, and I can honestly and truthfully, by the grace of God, say that I am fulfilled. I have peace. When I'm going to interview, it's like Christmas for me. But you said it, when I was reading it, I made some note that, for you to be fulfilled, there should be the spirit of forgiveness, the avoidance of forgiveness. You have to, because when you're doing these things, for you to be fulfilled, your heart has to be pure. No, we're all working, as I said. But then if you harbor anger, if you harbor bitterness, if you harbor jealousy, then you are not fulfilled, because for you to be fulfilled, you have to be whole
Right.
in a way.
Right.
And so you want to wake up and feel that peace. I always wake up and say, let me check. You do the internal check, the spiritual check, that do you have anything against somebody? Are you angry? Are you bitter? Are you have to have those spiritual check. And that, when you've done that, that propels you into whatever you're doing. And I once upon a time said that when you do that, it clears, it's like detoxing yourself. And when you do that, you have clarity to hear from above. You have clarity to create, because what we are doing every day, you've got to up your game. Every day you have to grow. You can We see, look at the inventions that has gone on. Look at what people have done within a space of what, 4 5 months, a lot of people have created things that, I mean, one is what we're doing, StreamYard. And if not, I would have said, okay, let me wait, buy a ticket and come and see you in Colorado. Maybe you would have sponsored us to come and interview you with all the cameras and things. But look at you and I here. This is somebody's passion, and now we're enjoying it. And you need, for you to be able to sit and create and be fulfilled in your calling, you've got to have clarity.
I agree.
And that is what you have done, and that is what you're telling. So if you're watching us this evening and you want to excel, one of the things and be fulfilled in what you're doing is to take out bit on unforgiveness,
Mm,
because it kind of blocks your blessing. So you need to flash it out of you. And for you to be fulfilled, it's as you said, if you're doing what you love to do. When I finish, I'm so happy. Sometimes I forget I have to eat, you know. And you have the energy to do it because this is what you called to do, right?
right. That's correct, and I think you said it right, and I think this interview is just an hour. We cannot use an hour to go into everything, but
Mm.
you said it well. Forgiveness is just one of them. I mentioned some other stuff, but I felt that, and you need to. It clears your mind, and people misunderstand. For instance, distancing yourself mentally, because there are certain people that you need to distance yourself from to achieve things. People misunderstand that to mean you hate somebody.
Mm.
It's in your heart. Your heart should be judged, right? There are certain people I need to distance myself from because they're not adding value to my life, and add rather they come into my life negatively, aggressively, negatively to rather pollute me. So for certain people, our spirits don't connect. I love you from a distance. That is different from just hating somebody and trying to always find ways, and the devil find works for you mentally to do anyway. And you know the funny thing, and I wrote that also in the book, that whilst you continue to hate somebody, despise somebody, do you know the man we serve above is a very interesting man? That person will be blessed, and you see and you watch, you're like, why not me? Why not me? So you realize that you're blocking your own opportunities and blessings. So it's important to just let go and then let in that man and be peaceful in what you do. And whatever you do, whether you are in a workplace, you're working for yourself, you're working for somebody, work as though you're working for God and do it faithfully. And I know the blessings will follow at the right time.
Yeah, and also in fulfillment, you wrote that the habit of gratitude. And I think we're going to wrap up with gratitude. I think on gratitude, we can stay also there. You need to get this book Beyond the Credentials and get it on Amazon. Is it just Amazon or which other outlets is
Yeah,
you have
so
it?
I need to be careful. I don't know, since we have global audience listening to us, Amazon is the key. If you have access to Amazon, you can get it. And if you are listening probably from Ghana specifically, you can get a book on alaha.com. It's they have partnered with me, and so what they do is. You can buy it there, do all the purchasing there, they can deliver to you. So it's alahar.com. But else all over the world, go to amazon.com. We have Barnes and Noble in the US and all that, but I try not to confuse people with too many links. So amazon.com is the best place, and you can get all the versions. And trust me, sometimes even today I read a chapter just for me, and I'm like, did I write this? I said,
I
wow, I'm
know.
blessed by it. So it's and you talked about gratitude. I think we are too in need of, our needs are insatiable economically. That's how human beings are created naturally to be selfish, right? So we are never satisfied. Oh, today I just want a car. You got it. Then the next time, I wish I have another one. This is kept for weekends. Then you got it. Then the next one is like, I need a car that picks only my children or my nieces and nephews. You got it.
Mm.
The next, I need a bigger house. Oh, I want to fly here. Well, I mean, coach. Next one, I need business class. Oh man, I'm tired of business class. I want first class. Next, I need private. You you can get all, but you know what? You need a time. Sit under a tree somewhere. Look on the
And
sky,
a coconut tree.
tree
I
somewhere, and
don't have coconut tree here.
I
Maybe
mean,
when I get back
whatever
home.
in the world you are, open your window. It doesn't matter whether you're in a mansion or you're in a small, you are renting somewhere, you're struggling. Just open the window for one. Forget about the world. Think about you. Appreciate the world. Look at the skies. Just appreciate first that you are alive, because there are many people who would wish to be in your shoes, because once you're alive, there is hope for you to be healed from anything you need, psychologically, physically, financially. Appreciate life, appreciate the people in your life, appreciate where you have gotten to. Rather appreciate. Appreciation is a very key element of fulfillment in life. If you start appreciating, when the little comes, you're going to appreciate it and you move on. So Nana, it's a very key element of fulfillment, and I'm very proud of that because I do exactly what I've written.
Yes, it's that is it. It's one of the secret to life, one of the secret for a successful life, for favors, for God to open doors for you. And even it talks about the Lord when he healed the 10 lepers, and the one came back and he asked where the nine was.
Mm.
So it's very important that we always say thank you to people. We are grateful for life. I don't take life for granted personally. And I tell people, I said, look, every second of your breath counts, because within a split of a second, anything can happen. But you see, sometimes the things that we take for granted are the very most important thing, but we don't know. But as you grow in wisdom, then you get to know that, hey, everything, the people in our life, you say thank you to your spouses, your children. We don't wait for when they are gone and then we write all these things that we want to write about. Every time when you have an opportunity, you say thank you to people, and thank you to your congregation, thank you to the people, your colleagues, thank you to your bosses. Somebody will say, oh, my boss is so wicked. Why would I say that? I say, because you have a job.
Right.
So sometimes surprise your boss and say, hey, boss, I'm so grateful that I'm working with you. And it will shock them. Said, what? And that leaves a mark, seriously. So even if you don't learn anything from us tonight, learn how to be grateful. Your colleagues, your supervisors, your pastors, your church members, these things. And that is what builds a community. It's not when we are in need of things, and then when the things are down is when we say thank you, when it's Christmas or birthday and all that. So once a while, say thank you to the people around you, send a note, and that alone is a secret. It opens so much doors. And personally, it's worked for me and it's worked for my family. So when you work with people, you've got to be a person that has a grateful spirit, a grateful attitude, and that alone will take you places that will blow your mind. Be grateful for the top people. Be grateful for those that you think they're nobody. Be grateful for those that you think they're not nobody. Each and every one of us is somebody. Anybody that comes your way, be grateful for it, because somebody will teach you a lesson that will go a long way in your life. I am so thankful, Evans, for coming again. I hope when I call on you again, you will come back. But I know we're going to do fantastic. So where would we find you, Evans?
Yeah, so well, I'm on almost all the social media stuff. On LinkedIn, I always say that if you're looking for me and you only type Evans Mensah, you'll find dozens of them, because Mensah is like Patel, Smith,
Okay.
Johnson. So I love you to put the Evans Kwesi Mensah in.
Evans,
I'm
Kwesi,
on
Mensah.
Instagram, Twitter, and all that. But may I also end, since there's time, just to say this: everything we've discussed and beyond, it's about your mindset. If you don't put your mind onto positive things, it will not happen. If you tell your mind you would not succeed, you will not achieve this, you will never achieve it. If you tell your mind I'll achieve something, you would achieve it. So I want you to know it's about renewal of our mindset. That is why almost everything can be successful. To me, it's worked for me over 20 something years of my life when I started thinking positively that I can do this. and I put my mind to it, surround myself with the right people, I think it's been successful. So Nana, I thank you for this opportunity and also doing what you're doing. I'm always available, and I don't mind be your constant host. So let your audience what.
Fantastic. Yes,
Yeah,
we'll be calling on you and say thank you to Mrs. for all the support. And we want to use this opportunity to say thank you. I say thank you to my commander. He's the boss, behind the scenes. And thank you to everyone that supports the Nana Churches show, support me personally, support all I do, to all my guests, the Faith and Betha and Evans, Kwesi Mensah, for making my back-to-back Sunday a truly success. I seriously enjoyed it. And every fan, you all rock. I am so thankful that you came our way this evening. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, a successful one. And I'm toasting to a successful week for you, but beautiful week. And this is drink is my Cosmic Immune Booster, courtesy of Cosmic Cocktails, and they have drinks that has come out. So please visit their page and support her business. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. Kwesi, bye bye.
bye bye now. Thank you.